Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Coffee with Cass, founder of the Love Evolution. This is the place to be if you are ready to thrive in all areas of your life, from epic relationships to massive success and wealth, and to vibrant health and well-being. And today I'm so excited to have my wonderful guest, Janine Kathleen Shapiro. She is a psychic healer and a coach. And she's founded a group on Facebook called Conscious Entrepreneurs, which is a subject very close to my heart. So welcome, Janine.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate you.
It's so wonderful to have you here. So, Janine, I'm really curious about your story of how did you first realize that you had the psychic gift, and what was your journey?
Well, my journey I think, has been a very interesting one for me. Anyway, when I look back with hindsight, I was unaware that I had these gifts, although I had a feeling very often I would know what people were experiencing or thinking or feeling. And it just I never explored it. And when people would come and see me, I just automatically knew where to put my hands or what herbs they required or what was actually going on with them. And I would share it, and they'd go to the medical profession, and the medical profession would confirm it. And I just thought, well, most people can do this. I was unaware of what I was doing. And I didn't explore that. I was busy exploring things like nutrition and exercise and things from a more conventional healing capacity. And I then came to understand I was living my husband's dream. But this was after my dad had died. And when my dad died, I got a very rude wake up call. I suddenly understood that if something happened to my husband, my seeing people for free was not going to pay bills. So I thought I had a practice. I actually had a hobby. And when I went online, I started understanding, wow, this is what I do. These people are doing it and they pay for it. That, oh, you mean not everybody can, what they called, and I came to understand is channeling. What I came to understand is feel what other people are feeling. I just assumed everybody could do it. And I would hear things. Now, this is going to be funny. I would come in and hear the vacuum cleaner going ballistic, and I'd say, surely you can hear the noise. I was unaware that my hearing was tuned in at a different frequency to other people, and they couldn't hear what I was hearing. In lockdown, that was particularly disturbing for me and actually extremely painful. And this is what helps me with my abilities as a psychic healer. I just was unaware of it. So when I went on, I met other psychic people. I met other people on the online space who were what we call healers and worked with energy. And I realized, wow, I work with energy. Imagine that. Many, 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 many years ago, I was introduced to Reiki, and because of various things, I was unavailable to pursue it. And it was just a journey. And going online was the blessing of my dad's death, was that I went online and I was able to understand and begin to make conscious the gifts that I had, so that I'm able to help others explore their gifts, explore their possibilities, and thus expand consciousness in the world. Well, create awareness so people can then make the choice to expand their consciousness.
And I think this is the time that we're living in where there seems to be a mass awakening.
Yes.
I think the focus has to go within to look at ourselves and see where we're at, and how do we then start creating our lives instead of just reacting to everything that's thrown at us. So what's your definition of consciousness?
Now, that's a great question. I feel it's when we are able to work with who we are in a much higher vibration and frequency, bringing harmony and flow into life and allowing for ease. Consciousness is when, as you so rightly said, rather than reacting, we can choose to respond. And I've seen that it can fluctuate as we're climbing the ladder. Maslow's hierarchy is one of the ways of looking at consciousness. I do feel that there's much more to it. And being conscious is being aware of who we are, what our actions are creating, and what it is doing to those around us and those we've never met and may have met in past lifetimes and in future times. And that is what consciousness is. It's allowing the awareness and then allowing it to come into alignment with what it is. Like I became conscious of my gifts. I had them all along. I was aware there was something different. And when I became conscious of it, I was then able to set the correct and better, not correct, better intentions, and to work at a more conscious level of what I can offer, who I can offer it to, and what I'm available to help people explore.
Oh, I love that where you say, tapping into past and future. Talk a bit about the future. Tap in there to the future. Oh, that's exciting.
You know what? Everybody thinks this is it. That's it. You've got a defined life, no free choice. What I've come to experience is there are infinite possibilities. And it's to choose the possibility in the present that serves what you are doing and contributes to what you are doing now. And then you decide, well, this is what I would like my future self to be: caring, compassionate, understanding, more conscious, able to empower other women and men to bring an understanding that just because you are situated like this, you have choices to shift your thinking and your speaking this way and that way. And you actually work with the future self. You go, look, what would I like to be? So, say, for example, I would like to be 56 kilos and a size 12 dress. I tap into the energy of that Janine in 6 months' time. Well, so let's say December. I tap into the energy of that Janine. What do I do now to become that Janine? How would that Janine react and respond when somebody puts this absolutely divinely luscious chocolate or carrot cake in front of her? Will she refuse it, or will she allow for it at that time? And it's in business. Who would we like ourselves to be in December? Who is that future self? Is that future self more aligned, more in harmony? Is that future self creating cash flow or constricting the cash flow? How does that future self, Janine, make decisions around marketing, around posts, around podcasts, around how she works with her partner, her husband, how she involves herself with her children and people that she comes into contact with? Is she compassionate? Because should she choose to be compassionate then, what would that look like now? And when we work with that future self, we are then able to work in the present and explore the possibilities. Will this possibility and potential feed that future self, or will it bring constriction? What are the possibilities and what is the potential within the now Janine, working from the future self Janine, to make decisions in this point in time?
Oh, that is amazing. I love that. I love the idea that, we have all these choices. It's like there's infinite possibilities that's available to us. We just need to decide what it is we want, tap into that energy, and then, work backwards from there to bring us back into present moment. And now we have a path that's set out to that future self. Very, very exciting. And how did you bring all of your gifts into entrepreneurship? What led you to conscious entrepreneurship?
I feel as I've evolved, I've come to understand that my entrepreneurship allowed me to open up space to be a businesswoman. And becoming conscious of, as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur, I had different options and I have followed different options, and I've opened my future self to those different options. And one of those options was being a businesswoman and beginning my podcast, working with my blog, and opening to one-on-one coaching. Yes, I do offer programs, and yet my entrepreneurial side showed me that as a businesswoman, currently, in order to meet my future self's creation, it's best for me to work one-on-one. So that's how I believe consciousness has helped me as an entrepreneur. Being conscious of what is better in this moment, what is more expansive in this moment, so that the future self can be created in a way that is for the highest of good for myself, my family, and for all, and for the planet. So it brings in awareness, it brings in creating space, it brings in creating ourselves in this moment as to who we are. It also brings in creating the understanding that we may just mess up and that it's okay. We ask, where can I be better here? Where can I learn from this? And what good can come from this? What good for myself, for my business can come from this? Did that answer your question?
Oh, absolutely. Beautifully, beautifully answered. Um, I love the idea of us being in a space now where we can bring this kind of consciousness into business. Business does not have to be the way it was in the past. It's all about the profits, and the environment is suffering, or other people or the staff are suffering, for the one person to make these profits. So I'm so happy that you're starting to create this wave, this shift in terms of how we do business going forward. And I sincerely believe that the future millionaires are going to come from these kind of businesses, where we're looking at the greater good for ourselves, for our clients, for the environment, for everyone involved. So let's say somebody, has a bright idea, they want to start this business now, and how would you advise them to bring consciousness into that business from the start, or even if they're already in a business, to start making those shifts, so they can call themselves a conscious entrepreneur?
First of all, decide if what you are offering meets what people are looking for. That is what I've come to understand. I've had so many people come and say, oh, I'm going to do this business. Well, let's consciously look at what is the pain point you are meeting. Where are you stepping forward to contribute to people's lives in a way that they are seeking or looking for? Because a business that meets nothing is not a business, is a non-viable business. So how we bring consciousness into it is we explore, yes, I have this. Where does this fit with what people are seeking and looking for? Because that is where we bring consciousness in. We allow for the fact that somebody is looking for something. How can I contribute to their life consciously, so that they can feel better, they can go ahead and create with it? And that is one of the most important things, because there's some wonderful ideas, wonderful inventions out there. Does it currently meet what somebody else is looking for? And is it financially viable? Well, it may not be financially viable in the now. You create the future self for it to be financially viable. Being conscious is understanding that you don't just go into business like I've done, like others. Let me tell you, if you want to see mess ups, come and chat to me. I've been very blessed in that I have been guided and I've seen various ways, and I have a very supportive partner. That for me has been incredibly assisting, and not everybody has that. One of the biggest challenges I see, people go in without understanding that it takes time to build a business. Being conscious in a business is understanding we build our capacity to sustain the income, to sustain our business, and to sustain the energy of our clients. So when we go in, we may have the capacity to hold energetic space for a cash flow of X. As we grow, as we evolve, as we become more conscious, we are then have the capacity to hold space for an income because remember, turnover is not necessarily income.
Yes.
Cash in the bank is not necessarily income. There's expenses, there are ways of doing, and many people live out of their, and I know my husband and I made this mistake. They live out of their business rather than being separate. So understand, don't give up everything and go into business. That is part of being conscious. Now, events have happened that people were removed from their work they places closed down, businesses have shut down, and they haven't had a choice. So they've jumped boots and all in. How we bring consciousness into it is, number one, as I said, what do you have that meets what somebody else is looking for? What is the most effective way for you to be able to offer it? What is required for you to offer it? And how long will it take for you to build that capacity and to sustain growth? And when you have the dips and turns, because everything in life has a winter period. We cannot, unless we go and live on the, what do you call it, not the equator, that's the only place. So if you create a business that's equatorial, that's great. Most businesses, when they start, have your spring, your summer, your autumn, and your winter. Sometimes they can have it at all the times. To bring consciousness is to make sure that you are having a summer season in the one aspect of your business while there's a winter period in another aspect, so that as this goes down, this goes up. And being conscious of these things is a very good aspect of it. So we have the practical with the spiritual, with the intentional, and that brings consciousness. And we go in with the consciousness of this is working, this has worked. So, future self, what do we do today in order to build the capacity for the 6 months, the 1 year? And for some people, don't work like that. Some people can see the end vision and it just flows. The important thing is be conscious of where you are within yourself, where the imposter syndrome and the saboteur syndromes are coming forward, and where victim may, oh, I lost my job, so I'm just going to start this business. Well, already there, your consciousness is so far down on the floor, and it's to become conscious of what energy am I working in? Where am I working from despair, and where am I working from, I may be lacking a few details. Let me go and explore them. And where's my energy of expansion? Where's my energy of, yes, I do feel a little bit victimized. Let me sit in it and play with it for a bit, and it'll fade away. And then the ideas start coming in as we raise our consciousness. It's about building the capacity to be conscious. It's about building the capacity to work with ourselves, our gifts. And as I am discovering how to work with the team that empowers our capacity as we empower them to help us, and ask for help before things go south, people.
Oh, that was such a beautiful answer. I was just blown away by that. Janine, if somebody wants to contact you, can I just leave a link to your group in the show notes, and then they can contact you that way? I just feel it is time for conscious business entrepreneurship, and most people have these brilliant gifts and they don't quite know how to share it with the world. And, I'm in business now for 23 years. And, I wanted it to be a business that went like that, but it kind of went like this,
We be conscious of that. We put plans in place for it. I think the best ways they can, yes, in the group, or they can get hold of me via my website, JanineKathleen.com. I'm all over social media, so they can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. I work a lot off Facebook, and I work a lot off my website. So yes, thank you.
Fabulous. I'll leave a link to that as well in the show notes. So for my final question for you, not to be morbid, but let's say that this was your last day on the planet. You've lived your life. You've lived a great, fulfilled life. And you want to leave one message for humanity. What would that key message be for you?
Allow yourself to expand, to grow, and be a contribution to yourself, and that will be a contribution to others. Allow yourself to know that we get to expand and grow, and this has an impact no matter what we have to show. And as we allow ourselves to expand and grow, with releasing that expectation, enjoy life, have fun, And very importantly, when in doubt, go back to love. When in doubt, go back to joy, because that is the energy that draws us forward and up and allows for the expansion to show.
Such an amazing message. Thank you so much, Janine, for your time. I loved having you on as a guest. And everybody, you know, if you got some value of this, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you'll know every time there's a new video out, and join the Love Evolution, because we want to surround ourselves with people that have the growth mindset, right? And see you in the next episode.